Hello chess friends and welcome to Azarov's chess channel and welcome to my series How to Spot Tactics in Chess. So one of the most obvious ways to find your tactical motifs in a chess game is this unnatural position of a king. So this unnatural position of a king, as I said, should be really sort of a trigger for you. Now maybe I have tactical possibilities. Now I should maybe just even give up my queen for some opening files, for opening diagonals, just maybe in order to improve one particular piece which could be deadly against our opponents. So whenever you see this unnatural position like here, king on e7, you should really watch for your tactical possibilities. And I don't mean here that this king is in the center. We'll do this king in the center because in this position black has already castled. So this king in the center, when the king is on the starting square on e8 or maybe on e1, then we have other possibilities and one other calculations which I'll explain in my next video of the series. So when you have the king in the center which hasn't castled so far, you should really calculate how many moves does he have in order to castle, and you should calculate your tactics in that way. So this is now really unnatural position of the king, and here we should really watch for tactical possibilities. As I said, sometimes it's even possible to give up the queen, and while solving these chess puzzles we have to always calculate from sort of a tactical hierarchy from above to bottom, because we have always to watch out if we can maybe even give up the queen. So when you're solving this puzzle in this particular example, it's not possible, but you should always consider first to sacrifice the queen, sacrifice the rook, then sacrifice the bishop, sacrifice the knight, and then try to calculate your pawn moves. So that's how you should really solve your tactical puzzles, because you should really go from the best piece to your worst piece. And here a queen sacrifice is unfortunately not possible. It would be cool. In my next example you'll see a very nice queen sacrifice. So here the best move is knight on d5, because of this very nice activity of our rooks on d and e file. We want to open the e file to create the discovered attack on the king. So here after e takes d5 we have bishop takes on f6 with a double check. We will have here three nice double check motifs. King on d6 again, bishop on e5 with a double check, now king on e7 again, and now bishop on d6 again with a double check. So if you try here instead of e takes d5, if you try knight takes on d5, then we have pardon me, then we have queen on h7. The bishop can come maybe in between, but again very nice checkmate, because the activity of this bishop was too strong and black couldn't find any counterplay. So you see this unnatural position of the square, a natural position of the king allows us to even give up some pieces. In this particular example it was the knight, just in order to improve here the activity of these rooks, the activity of the bishop, the activity of the queen. So it was a very nice chess tactic. So here again we have an unnatural position of the king. Here again we should search for tactical ideas, and again while solving this tactical puzzles, you should always try first to sacrifice the queen. So here a queen sacrifice is possible. Here when we go from above to bottom, again a queen sacrifice on g7 is possible, because we have a very nice activity with our knight. So here queen takes on g7, here knight takes on g7, but now knight on h6, and very nice checkmate supported with this bishop, and this knight is too strong. This rook is also occupying this very important e file. So you see even queen sacrifices were possible, because this unnatural king's position was really too much to handle for black. And as I said, if you spot that your opponent has such a king, you should really be active. Try to checkmate him. Sometimes, as I said also in my previous video, it's not possible. Sometimes you have to play maybe a calm move, but at least you should consider the option to try a tactical motif. So Here is a position. It's a game played by Helmut Fleger against Zadok Domnitz, and here we have again an unnatural position of the king. We should really now attack Black's king, but when you're chasing your opponent's king, you should really first restrict the ability for him to play. So you see, we have now two possibilities: either to play the rook from f to e1, or play maybe here the rook from d to e1. So you see, this rook on d1 is better because we are occupying now the d file, and the most important thing is that we restrict our opponent's king's ability to play. We are not allowing our opponent to escape, maybe through to f7 and then maybe to g7 into security. So that's sort of a rule when you have this an endangered king, like here, this unnatural position of the king. You should first restrict the ability of your opponent's king to play. Now we have a perfect attack because the knight has to be protected. Here Black tried knight on f8, and okay, again we should now maybe search for tactical possibilities. If we calculate, we could maybe give up the rook after knight takes, then here rook takes, rook placed on d1, and again creating this very annoying attack on e6. But here the best way is just to continue to improve the position of the pieces. We can really here improve the position here now with the knight on g5 or knight on c5 in order to even more creating even more pressure on this e6 knight. Here if Black tries rook on d8 in order to support somehow the defense with rook on d6. Again, we can play simply knight on g5, here rook on d6, and now c5. The rook has to escape, and now we can simply take out the knight on e6. So here after knight on e4, Black is forced to play here the move knight on d8, but now again knight on c5, and you see how important it was to occupy this f file, because now maybe Black could have escaped here through f7 and then to g7, and that is now of course not possible because we played correctly. We played with the d rook, and now it's a perfect attack against Black's king. So here king on d6, the only move. We have rook on f6 attacking the king, king on c7, now of course rook on e7, and if Black tries now to escape with the king here on g6, then we have a very strong move. You can play rook on f7, because if the knight takes, then we have a very nice checkmate. The knight will be deflected from the defense of this very important b7 pawn. So what can Black do here? Black can maybe protect this b8, but now knight on a4, king on a6, the only move. Now bishop in e2. Again, you see, we're just improving the position of our pieces. Now the threat is of course to play the move c5, creating the discover the check with the bishop. So here knight on d7, maybe Black is now helpless here because now we have again c5. If you try b5 to protect, then we have c takes b6, king has to go, rook takes on d7, and here rook on a7, very nice checkmate. So if you try here after king on c7 and rook on e7, if you try king on b8, then you have a very nice checkmate again, sort of a smothered mate, because here rook takes on b7, after knight takes on b7, knight on a6, again a very nice checkmate. So let's go back. Here it's really impossible after these attacks to play correctly with your rooks, because as you can see, if we don't create a huge advantage from this position, maybe the game can go into equality. And of course with this very active rook connection, we are not allowing our opponent to maybe draw here. So let's see now another example. Again, we have really unnatural position of the king. The king is on h3. Again, we have to search for tactical ideas, because if maybe Black trades off here the piece, if White here trades off the pieces we could have really maybe a draw or even a winning endgame for white, because white has an annoying pawn here on g7 combined with maybe bishop on f6, then queen on d8. So many threats also by white. If we don't play correctly, we'll lose the completely winning endgame here. And here you can pause the video and try to find the best continuation. And here the correct move is rook takes on h2. So after king takes on h2, we have queen on g1, king on h3. Now the check, the king has to go to g4. Now you see h5. Again, we are just forcing our opponent to go with his king to our side of the board. That's how you should chase your opponent's king. You have to force him really to go here somewhere on our half of the board, because he will be endangered. He comes into many pieces here. King on f5 was played. Now queen on h3, king on f6 can be played, but now queen on e6, and it's a game over. So see, this king hunt has also sort of its rules, because we have to really chase the king, force him to go into this dangerous position on f6. And now it doesn't matter that white of course has this rook, because the rook didn't play anyway, and it's not about material. When you chase your opponent's king, it's about to checkmate him as fast as you can. And of course at the end of the video, you here is one chess puzzle for you to solve at home. Again, we have an unnatural position of the king here. We have a very nice checkmate, I think, and I think after this video you solve this very nice chess puzzle easily. And of course you can also watch many of this king hunts on the internet. Try to find this very nice examples. You have this very nice chess website. It's called the Chess Games, so you can search there. I think very nice examples. Some of these examples I've searched from that particular chess page, and I really love this page because it has also many sorted out positions, like from openings, from many motifs, and I think it's a very nice chess game. You have also many tournaments. As said, try it out, watch it, and on that page you can find also many, as I said, this of this king hunt motifs. So okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Meanwhile, you can watch my other tactical spotting videos from the series, and you can also watch my basics in chess series, in which I show you opening principles, middle game strategies, and the end game strategies. And you can also subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, guys, and chess is the best, of course.